Welcome to Crack Your Customer Code. Reveal the hidden triggers that fuel growth using the Buying Triggers Mapper. Thank you so much for being here today for our Force for Good masterclass. Today, we're focused on a very important topic, which is buying triggers. So connect your heart and ask yourself, have you paused to consider the exact moment when your ideal customer is most ready to receive what you have to offer? Do you truly understand what inspires your best customers to take action? Have you ever sensed that your message is really close, but it's not quite reaching the heart of your customer? And what might become possible if your company showed up more consistently and compassionately right in the moment? This is the topic of today. And as you come into this masterclass, I invite you to really dip into your heart and see where you can be of greater connection and service. Often the reasons why we're not seeing the conversion rates, we're not seeing customers buy is because we aren't connected at a deep level to the moments when they need us the very most. All right, so let's dive in here. What are buying triggers? Buying triggers are those internal or external cues that prompt a customer to make a purchase. What are those psychological, emotional, or practical moments when a customer resolves, I need something, I have a need or a want or a desire? And so we want to identify when those internal or external moments are, those cues, create an urgency that makes them really ready to make a purchase with you. So when we start to enter into understanding the deeper journey of a customer, selling becomes sacred when it's grounded in service to her timing, your customer's timing, and not pressure for your timing. The purpose here today is to become more intentional about the moments when you connect with your customers. Today's focus is on buying triggers, one of the core growth elements of the Force for Good flywheel. And we're going to be using the Buying Triggers Mapper, which is one of the tools in the Force for Good toolkit that comes inside of our book, A Force for Good. And so today we're going to go into this quite short, simple tool that's designed to help you and your team extract wisdom and insight, put it on a page, and have a breakthrough. And so we're going to use the Buying Triggers Mapper in this masterclass. And in the end, you're going to define 3 buying triggers that will help you connect more personally and more provocatively with your customer. You're going to identify one habit that you can put into place. We call it a high leverage habit, and one high potency action. This will be an action that will elevate and propel you towards the results you desire: impact, scale, and profit. So right now, I invite you, if you haven't already, to download the Buying Triggers Mapper. And with the free weekly tool that we are offering through A Force for Good at aforceforgood.biz/weekly-tool, you'll find that it is available for free until May 25th. So grab it today and use it as we walk through the rest of this masterclass. You'll see it's part of this transformational flywheel. What I always like to remind everyone is that you don't need to have every single leg of the flywheel to get the flywheel to work for you. The moment you start building, you start getting the flywheel together and getting it to spin. What we do is take a masterclass like this one today, invoke your wisdom and create clarity into one of the spokes of the flywheel. Today, it's the buying triggers. And then you take action. That's what gets the flywheel spinning. So when you invoke a new high leverage habit by the end of today and you take one big action, it will create a new pathway where your company automatically builds exponential growth every single day, week, and year you're in business. So let's get into it. Why is it that buying triggers are so essential to growing your purpose-led company? You can't scale a company if you don't know what moves your customers. Contemplate that for a moment. If you don't know the moments that will trigger their internal desires, you may spend a lot of time focused on marketing potential customers who just aren't ready. What we want to do today is help you refine and define those moments so that you become more appropriate in those moments that you connect with them. This will help you have more effective marketing. You'll see your conversion rates start to increase because you're getting to the heart of what matters to your customer. And it also helps you create greater alignment across your product sales and service. This will help you give language to your sales, marketing, and service teams around those moments when your customer needs you most. It also helps you and your team as you go through this process today to really develop more empathy, brand love. Think about that. We want to build brand love. When your customer feels heard and understood, that's when they feel a sense of connection to your brand. So when your message meets your customer's moment, that's when the magic happens. And today's conversation about buying triggers is intended to help you create those moments of magic. So let's talk about what we mean by buying triggers. Let's look at a couple of companies out there. One company is Clue, founded by Ida Tin. It's a femtech company. And Clue is a platform where you can track your periods, ovulation cycle, moods, how you feel, cramps, these kinds of things. The moments when Clue can most trigger a desire or need from a new customer is for moments of empowerment, somebody wanting to understand their own reproductive health. The moments when they feel confused, where they want to understand more, then that they most are interested in Clue. It could be a moment when a woman has a desire for accurate menstrual and fertility tracking. Maybe she's deciding to start getting pregnant. Maybe she's been trying to get pregnant, but it's not working. Or maybe she's had breakthrough bleeding or an unexpected period, and she wants to be able to track it better. It could be an interest in non-hormonal contraceptive options. Clue gives her the power to understand how her cycles work. These are specific triggers. Lush Decor, founded by Jenny Jane Zhu. Her industry is home decor manufacturing. They look at moments when people want affordable and stylish home furnishings. So when someone moves and they have a new place to decorate, this could be that moment, right? When a person is already looking for a piece of furniture, but they want to find something that's a little affordable and stylish. Appeal of unique designs during economic downturns. Right now, for example, as the economy starts to slow, you might say, okay, this is an opportunity for you to look for great stuff to make your home beautiful, but at a lower price. These are ways that you start to get into the mind of your customer and identify specific triggers. Start to think about that. Where are the triggers? What are those parts of the day when your customer recognizes a need that your company solves? All right, so now we're going to think about big picture. Where does this fit on our 4-page growth plan? And of course, for Good System, we have a 4-page growth plan that you look at every week and update a little bit. And right now, today, buying triggers, and it happens to fit on the first page of the 4-page plan. It's under the section where we focus on knowing who you serve. The 4-page growth plan helps you identify where you're going by understanding your purpose, who you serve, and your impact plan. So this section that we're in right now is knowing who you serve. Right on this page here, you've got a box that says why. So it's why is it that people are buying from us? Why are they needing our solutions? And we talk about trends and triggers. So macro trends, which we discussed on another masterclass, and then here buying triggers. In this box, I'm going to put both macro trends and triggers. The 4-page plan is your flywheel. All right, so next, introducing us to the buying triggers mapper, where we're going to discover moments of urgent need, and we're going to talk about the different types of triggers, and you'll identify specific moments when your customer could be triggered. They're going to decode your customer's emotional and situational cues, and then align your messaging, sales, and offers with those moments by looking at habits and a high potency action. All right, so let's go right into it. There are 8 types of triggers we're going to discuss. So when somebody wants recognition, when there's a change in circumstance, when there's a moment of urgency or scarcity. The 4th trigger is fear of missing out, or FOMO. The 5th is emotional appeal. The 6th is social proof. The 7th is value proposition. And the 8th is convenience and accessibility. So we're going to walk through each of these, and you'll find in the buying triggers mapper that there is a place for you to just brainstorm all the buying triggers that come up for you as we think about each of these 8 types of triggers. The first one we're going to talk about is need or want recognition. When people realize something in their life isn't working as well as it could, and they begin looking for a better way. So this is the moment that they recognize that there's something they want or need that is not being met. So an example would be a working parent reflects on their daily routine and realizes how often dinner feels rushed or skipped. So they start exploring meal delivery options that could help them nourish their family without added stress. So specifically that trigger of feeling rushed, dinner feeling rushed or skipped. Another trigger could be that moment where you say, oh, I really wish that I was able to have a better dinner sitting down with my family. That's when a person recognizes that I have a need. Another example is a small business owner who notices that juggling multiple productivity tools is creating more friction than flow. Small business owner might be curious if they could find an integrated platform that could help them stay more focused. So that overwhelm from multiple tools is a trigger. And so that's a great frame for a company that might be selling an group. Another example is a homeowner who becomes aware of a persistent musty smell in the basement and realizes it may be a sign of moisture buildup. So now we know that we need to create a healthier home environment. And that can be for a company offering various types of healthy living products. So think about the moments that your customer realizes in their day, they have a visceral experience where they realize, oh my God, my life is not working, right? Think about the exact time when your customer feels hit, like that's when I'm tying my daughter's shoes, or I'm trying to put together a board report, or when I get in the car and I realize I don't have enough gas. These are specific emotional moments. So look and see what those moments of recognizing a want or need live. The next area is changes of circumstances. What are those moments when life changes? A new home, someone gets pregnant, someone gets divorced, someone changes a job, someone gets a promotion. What are those changes in moment that bring about the need for your product or service? Think about that. So life shifts, big or small, and this can prompt people to reevaluate what they need to thrive in a new chapter. Okay. So think about all those what are those changes of circumstance that lead to meeting your customer? So here's some examples. After receiving a job promotion, someone feels called to step more fully into their leadership role. They begin to explore clothing that aligns with how they want to show up: confident, rounded, authentic. That's coming from a clothing company. A second example is a family that recently relocated to a quieter, more rural community, realizing that one car no longer fits their daily routine. Notice how these triggers are specific. A family moves out of New York City, or moves out of Boston, or moves out of San Francisco into a place where now they've only had one car. Now they need two in order to meet the family needs. They begin looking for a second vehicle that fits their budget and lifestyle. A third is a newly retired couple feels excited to explore more of the world. As they plan their first extended trip, they began searching for long-stay travel solutions that feel both adventurous. What are those changes of circumstance that create a new awareness of need or help them reevaluate how they're already getting the need met that your company offers? Let's move on to the next one. The next trigger is urgency or scarcity. I don't love talking about urgency or scarcity as a manipulative device. I like to reframe this as sometimes people move quickly, not out of pressure, but because the opportunity genuinely aligns what they need right now. I don't encourage trying to prey on people in moments when they're feeling down, but rather to see how you genuinely align with what they need in moments when they're feeling a sense of urgency or scarcity. So an example would be a loyal customer receives an email about a special short-term sale on products they already love. They decide to restock to make the most of the offer while it's available. Another is an example of a founder exploring new tools for their team. And she learns that software they're considering is offering onboarding support for those who sign up for the end of the month. They decide it's the right moment to move forward. Another example is a couple searching for a meaningful getaway who finds a small eco lodge with only one room left for their anniversary weekend. It feels like the right time and place to reconnect. So we can use this idea of urgency and scarcity to help clients say yes and align with their desires right now. The next type of buying trigger is the fear of missing out. And again, I don't like to prey on people's needs. It's really more about inviting a sense of, so rather than invoking fear, let's invite a sense of possibility. Seeing others have meaningful experience often inspires people to explore those possibilities for themselves. So helping people see a brighter possibility is More of what I hope you use this for rather than helping them feel deeply afraid and scared. A person who notices their friends talking about how much a mindfulness app has helped them feel more grounded would be intrigued. They decide to give it a try and see if they it's worth it too. Another would be a woman notices a group of peers sharing how a local fitness studio has helped them feel stronger and more energized. Might invoke this person to consider joining and feel curious about whether it might help her feel more vibrant as well. Using these examples of others who've experienced a hopeful new outcome is what we're headed for here. So when are those moments? What are those experiences where you could demonstrate that others are having what you offer? What are those things they want that your customers already are receiving? What are those outcomes that your customers are already generating? Another third example is a business owner, trusted peers talk about a mastermind that's helped them grow with more clarity and intention. So she explores whether it could be a supportive next step in her leadership journey. The FOMO idea here is creating a sense of expansion and possibility that allows your customers to see what others who have experienced your solution have created in their reality. The next trigger we'll look at is emotional appeal. When messages resonate emotionally, it's often because they reflect something deeply human. And the more we can connect deeply in a human way, whether it's love or belonging or meaning or joy, relief is often one that I look for. So look to see what are those emotions. We have a whole exercise in a separate masterclass or 3 clarifying emotions that customers want to feel. What are some emotions your customers want to feel? Maybe start to see what is the feeling they come to you with, the feeling that's associated with pain or lack before they get the solution. And then what's the feeling you intend to bring through your solutions? An example is a pet owner sees a story about the bond between a dog and its human companion. It inspires them to invest in products that support their pet's well-being. So that connection they feel to their dog, cat, hamster, or fish. Another example is a holiday brand creates a short film that evokes more memories of family gatherings, that feeling of connection and warmth, that feeling of togetherness. Maybe that is something your customer longs for. What are those feelings that they connect with? And what are those moments that they have felt before? It reminds the viewer of the film or ad of what matters most and inspires them to create meaningful moments of their own. So what are those meaningful and emotional moments that your team and company are going to create for your customers? The third example is a nonprofit shares a story about how one donation made a real difference in a child's life. That's the moment you feel, oh, I made a difference. It resonates with those who believe in community and want their contributions to create real and lasting. So that feeling of fulfillment, impact, satisfaction, purpose, meaning. So what are those emotional moments? What are the emotions that we want to help our customers feel when they use our solutions? The next trigger is social proof. We are relational beings. When others share stories of what's working for them, it often helps us discover what might work for us too. So that social proof, the influence of social validation, something is working for somebody else helps us. So an example is a person hears a podcast interview with someone they admire who shares how a certain wellness practice has transformed their daily life. Curious, this person begins exploring that wellness practice themselves. So think about how that example could reflect upon your business. Another example is a company features case studies of real customers, people who faced similar challenges and found meaningful solutions. Helps others see themselves in the story and feel more confident in taking the next step. What's the social proof that they want to see? What's the stories they want to hear? What would those stories be about? What would they be sharing? The next example is a professional looking for the right course to grow her skills, and she finds a community of alumni who share openly about their experience. Their stories help her feel supported and seen as she goes through the journey. What's the social proof they're looking for? What is the recognition that what this solution might be offering could work for them? Identify the social proof that would validate and help them feel triggered to say, yes, it's time to make an investment in this product or service. The next trigger, which is value proposition. So value proposition, it's that perceived value or benefit offered by a product or service compared to its cost, leading to a decision to buy. So it's the higher value than what they're going to spend in terms of money. When people believe that what they're going to buy meets or exceeds what they're giving, they are more likely to buy with companies. Okay? Think about what are they giving and what are they receiving in order to get the result. So they will pay for something. So there's money. They will need some time to integrate or use or explore your solution. It may involve the energy of upkeep or including others. So how much time, energy, and money is it? And so that's what it costs them. And what's the value you're giving to them? It should really exceed whatever that time, energy, or money is. So think about what that value is that they're giving to them. An example would be a founder chooses a project management platform after comparing several options, and one stands out by offering strong features, personal onboarding experience, and better support, all at a similar price. They feel the value justifies the investment, right? So that's example one. The second example is a parent exploring summer camps for their child. Chooses one that emphasizes small group sizes, expert staff, and personalized enrichment at a cost that feels worthwhile for the peace of mind and quality of care provided. See how it's way more valuable than what the cost is going to be. The third example is a wellness brand offers a monthly subscription box that includes premium supplements, guided meditations, and access to a supportive community. Customers feel the package delivers value across multiple dimensions, physical, emotional, and relational. Think about the value you're bringing to your customers and the cost to them to participate and get the result. What's the time, energy, and money they must spend? And how can you facilitate all of that so that it's worthy of their time, worthy of their energy, worthy of their money? And then the value is way above and beyond look like the value proposition. The last buying trigger is convenience and accessibility. Think about factors such as ease of purchase, delivery options, or user-friendly interfaces that facilitate the buying process. You want it to be easy. Ease often makes the difference when a product or service removes friction from someone's life or makes something previously complicated feel simple and accessible. They're far more likely to engage. Just think about what's involved in your solution, every part of it, and how you can make it easier for them to say yes, easier for them to sign up, easier for them to get the solution implemented, easier for them to see the results. So first example is a mental health app allows users to book therapy sessions with licensed professionals and track their mood, all from their phone. The simplicity of starting care encourages more people to seek support. Second example is a local farm launches an online CSA subscription with home delivery. Not just you have to come to us, but we're going to deliver it to your home. So customers who love fresh seasonal food now find it easier than ever to access. No weekly farmers market trip required. The third example is a clothing brand who introduces a virtual try-on tool. Shoppers who were hesitant about fit or sizing now feel empowered to make a confident purchase from the comfort of their home. So how could all of these examples apply to your customer? What are those moments of friction? They have to get in the car, or they have to wait for customer service, or there's a delay, or they have to fill out a whole bunch of paperwork, or they're not sure if it's going to fit them. Think about how to make it more convenient and accessible for your customers. So now we've gone through all the triggers. So those moments when the customer realizes, I have a need. Those moments when you have a change in circumstance, urgency or scarcity, the perception of limited time or limited basis, something that's going to help them feel aligned that now is the time. What are those moments where they fear missing out, where they fear a lack of connection or belonging, where they could drive towards a opportunity or possibility? What is their emotional appeal going to be? So what's the emotion they're coming away from? Where do they start? Are they frustrated? Are they confused? And what are they going to move into? And feel comforted, elated, relieved, hopeful, excited, or whatever that feeling is. What are those emotional triggers that are going to help them say, this is the company, this is the solution for me? What is the social proof? They're going to want to know that others are receiving real benefit. What benefits do they want others to see? And then what's the real value? They're going to give time, energy, focus, and money to get this support and service or product from your company. What's the value they're going to receive in exchange? Help them understand what that value is and have others demonstrate it for them. How do you make it easy? How do you make it convenient and accessible? These are all the different buying triggers. Now, just start to go through your list and prioritize which ones are most exciting for your customers, which ones are the low hanging fruit that when you start to tap into those needs and amplify those triggers, seeing where you can speak to them directly to their heart. So select 3 buying triggers you want to focus on for the next 12 to 24 months. Give yourself 3 that are compelling and provocative. Remember, a buying trigger is more than a signal. It's a sacred invitation to serve. Okay, so now you've got 3 buying triggers. And so 3 buying triggers are going to help you be of higher service. This is now giving you new clarity, deeper knowing, and practical power, practical moments, specific, clear moments that can help you connect with your customers. You discovered the real moments when your customers are most open to receiving support. You brought fresh clarity to how and where your message meets the lives of your customers. You aligned your team around what really moves them, what moves your customers, not just what sells, but what moves them from the inside. You employed empathy. Empathy is so critical. So you used this empathy for the human experience behind every purchase. And now you're focused not on you, not on your product, not on your service. You're focused on your customer. You named 3 growth levers that can scale your business with more ease, trust, and giving you more freedom. The more you can articulate these triggers and communicate them within your team, they're empowered to make great choices to connect with customers and do it whether you're there or not. Your deepest impact begins the moment you honor what your customer is feeling, not just what they're buying. Now you can take what you just gathered, these 3 buying triggers, and add them to the first page of your 4-page growth plan. Put it right in the section marked trends and triggers. It's the why they buy. Let's put your triggers into action. Today, we're inviting you to invoke a high leverage habit that will help you use buying triggers daily, weekly, monthly. And high leverage habits are habits that, when repeated, guarantee forward momentum, guarantee that you will keep coming back and remembering and move forward these buying triggers. So what is a weekly or monthly habit that would keep buying triggers visible to you and your team? Maybe it is looking at your weekly team meeting, which hopefully you already have. You could add to that agenda that you're going to review the buying triggers. A second idea is that maybe you do a monthly audit of marketing assets to align with triggers. So maybe you put into your calendar a monthly meeting, second Tuesday of each month. You're going to meet up with members of your marketing, sales, and customer service product team, and you're going to talk about buying triggers, right? You could talk about macro trends and buying triggers at the same time, for example. And you're going to identify how you can improve your marketing assets in that monthly meeting and set goals every month to improve on the buying triggers. Another idea, another high leverage habit is you could create a customer story database. This is really powerful. And you could say, okay, every month, I'm going to create a customer story database that shares the buying triggers and emulates one of those 8 types of triggers in the story. And I'm going to make it part of the agenda of the monthly town hall that I do with my entire company. So I'm going to share the buying trigger and share it within the context of a customer story. So that could become every month you do that, and you now have a database of your customer stories with buying triggers. Another example here is a quarterly customer interview. So maybe you, as the founder or the director of marketing, could be doing this on a monthly basis, where you do a customer interview focused on the triggers. Assign it to someone and add it to your dashboard meeting. Just remember that when you show up at the exact moment of your customer's need, your business becomes the answer to their prayer. How profound that can be when you align with their buying triggers. The last piece is to identify one high potency action. A high potency action, a potent one-time action, causes a leap forward. What is an action that you can commit to in the next 7 days to use the 3 buying triggers you just identified? So perhaps you want to rewrite your homepage or delegate somebody to do that. You might want to develop a marketing campaign for one of those triggers. You might have a meeting later this week with your sales team to talk about the 3 triggers and have a discussion about the triggers. Maybe it's inviting them to listen to this masterclass and use the worksheet and write their own triggers. It could be go out and interview 3 customers to validate your triggers and talk about these 3 triggers you identified. Maybe you have everyone on your sales team, everyone in your marketing team, interview 1 customer and come back in a week and share stories. Notice how the timing of a buying trigger isn't just tactical, it's transformational for your customer and your business. All right. Now, here's what we did today. You defined buying triggers. You also learned how to use the buying triggers mapper so you can use it again and again. You can now integrate those buying triggers into your 4-page growth plan. Start to see how you're getting deeper into knowing who your customer is. Identified a high leverage habit and committed to a high potency action to move your buying triggers forward. So you did something powerful today. You made it easier for your best customers to find you and say yes. So acknowledge yourself for that. If you haven't already, pick up a copy of my book, A Force for Good. This book includes all of the tools. It is a full system for your company to grow, impact, scale, and profit. We talk about the buying triggers in chapter 6 of the book. You can always get any one of the Force for Good tools when you have the Force for Good toolkit, which is available by buying the book. So aforceforgood.biz/book is where you can buy the book. You'll sign up to get this at the free Force for Good tool of the week. Every week, we launch a masterclass and a tool, an email with recordings and links. You can get that at aforceforgood.biz/weekly-tool. You can also install the growth system using our accelerator. So this is the full Force for Good system integrated in one program. You're able to go sign up and work at your own pace to install all 12 modules. You can install it weekly, install it monthly, install it as quickly or as slowly as you like. It's a system of leading your team into exponential high impact growth by focusing on the areas that most impact success in your company. So it includes videos, tools, assessments. You can do it alone. You can do it with your team. And the tiered pricing starts at $590. And you can get. Thank you for this opportunity to serve and support you. It is my honor and pleasure to work with founders like you, making the world better. Connect your heart and soul and use buying triggers to grow your company. Remember, the world is made better by women-led business. Let all go make the world